Dr. Bloom showed me your article on surgical addiction in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry.
Huh?
Very interesting, even to a layman. I want you to help me, Dr. Lecter.
I thought so.
It's about Atlanta and Birmingham.
Yes?
You read about it?
In the papers. I don't tear out the articles. I wouldn't want them to think I was dwelling on anything more to do there. You want to know how he's choosing them, don't you?
I thought you might have some ideas.
Why should I tell you?
You get to see the file in this case. And there's another reason.
Pray tell.
Thought you might be curious to see if you're smarter than the person I'm looking for.
Then by implication, you think you're smarter than me since you caught me.
I know that I'm not smarter than you.
Then how did you catch me?
You had disadvantages.
What disadvantages?
You're insane.
Hello, welcome to Fandango Friday. Mr. Tank says, sup, I'm drinking on some Miller. Robert Collins says, happy Fandango Friday, everyone.
Acoustica. We are acoustically shooting across the universe.
The universe, people. The universe.
Yeah, not only the Milky Way galaxy, but unlike the red-feathered birds in cyberspace, we will take over the Andromeda galaxy and all galaxies beyond. The spirit of Rod Serling told me this.
It's just like Night Gallery.
Night Gallery. I want to be in that photo, the old man in the fishing boat. And then remember he was on the cross. He was being crucified. Remember that? There he is. There it is.
Oh, folks.
Anti-war policy. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Well, the policy's good. Okay, Johnny Lee says, cheers, gentlemen. Happy Fandango Friday. And Johnny Lee, cheers to you. And get on this hangout. All right. Here is the Platinum 7X.
Oh, wow. Lucky bells for the evil spirits. Welcome to Fandango Friday.
It was $2 for this bottle. And
wow, $2.
That's 100 milliliters. Bucky Den says, what's up? Chilling, drinking a bud. Beer Hounds Beer Review says, how do you do, Ronaroo? I'm fine. Now we have from New Jersey, the great empire of New Jersey, James P. Madonna.
Well, New York State is the Empire State. We're just like
the Garden State.
Yeah, the Garden. Yeah, California is the true Garden State. But anyway, I digress. Welcome to Fandango Friday. It's the world's largest jingle bell to tits the season. Oh, speaking of tits the season, for you fans of my shot glass, it is now will be used since the theme is a form of hard liquor. So there's your favorite shot glass, people. Me bucko. All right.
Folks, it's shot glass time, and you have a very fancy. I don't have a fancy shot glass, I'm afraid.
Well, I only have one fancy wine glass left because the others I kind of busted. But and I didn't break this other one because it's really thick, heavy glass. But what happened was I was keeping the others in the freezer, and if you don't have anything thick that's made of glass, don't keep it in the freezer.
No. And look what Johnny Neely says. Now, this may not make any sense to y'all.
Difficulty.
But let me explain why he's saying that. He lives in a county where you cannot buy alcohol, any kind of hard liquor.
The whole county?
The whole county lives in a prohibitionist county.
You mean a 7-day week period? No day?
0 seconds a week. You can buy no hard liquor in that county.
That's a good topic the next time I do progressive discussions. What county is this? It's one of those is it Zealot counties?
Yeah, and they got a lot of them in Mississippi and other southern states.
Yeah, like I mean, let's put it this way. Fermented beverages have been made since mankind for probably thousands of years. Yes, you heard it right, thousands of years. So and the people during the Old Testament, as well as Jesus and his disciples, guzzled much wine. By the way, you people out there that are religious experts, they did take part. I'm drinking Noble Ale Works Big Wig IPA. It is amazing. Tastes like Pliny the Elder. Ronnie S. Cheers, fellas. Cheers, Ronnie S. Well, I have the theme show small bottle, which is the logical choice. That's if your store has plenty of them. Tito's handmade vodka. Why is it handmade? How could you hand make such a large volume of vodka to be sold across the country in every liquor store you can get to? I have no idea. That's just a word.
Somebody went to court years ago. I think in 2014, he sued the company because he said he was damaged because he thought it was handmade.
Well, it's great. It's great to win the Powerball lottery and have nothing but time on your hands to be litigious and go around suing everybody. Actually, that's not a bad hobby.
So what happened was he said that since he thought it was handmade, he got tricked into buying it. And then he found out it was made on an assembly line. What happened was the U.S. law did not support this lawsuit because handmade is not a legal term. It's a meaningless marketing term. So the company was saying it is handmade. We have to press the buttons by hand. We have to lift up.
How do you feel, Ronald J.? How do you feel about a chocolate or vanilla egg cream not having any eggs in it?
I don't like it.
That's false advertising. Egg cream. Well, there might be cream in it, or half and half, or whatever, but there's no eggs in it. But it's an egg cream, just like oxtails in the meat market. They were allowed to call beef tails oxtails, but it's not from an ox.
Huh. I didn't know that. Now, it's like the word craft beer. Craft beer is a meaningless marketing term. Any company could claim their beer is craft beer. It's not a legal term. Now, there are legal terms. Vodka, that is a legal term. Okay, vodka. You cannot put rum in this bottle and call it vodka.
Oh, maybe you could answer some questions that were floating by me and my buddies last week. What is vodka made from? Is it made from potatoes, a specific grain, or a series of grains? What exactly?
Well, it depends. It depends. Most vodka in America is made from grain, almost assuredly corn, because that's government subsidized grain.
Right.
In Europe, Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Russia, White Russia, you might very often see vodka made from potatoes. And my friend David says that it's much better from potatoes.
Now, including the Scandinavian vodka, like Absolute.
I really don't know, but it should say on the bottle.
Well, it says here, of course, it says here, man, the label is so bronze looking, it's not easy to read. Crafted in an old-fashioned pot still. Oh, really? They make that much in the old-fashioned pot still. By America's original micro distillery. Wow, there's some bold claims here. Austin, Texas. I say there, son. I say we are the original. Distilled and bottled by fifth generation. Yeah, that's if it really is 5 generation. Austin, Texas. All right, alcohol by volume. 40% alcohol by volume. This is funny. Gluten-free.
Well, if it's made from corn, it has no wheat in it.
Yeah, gluten-free, distilled from 100% corn, Ronald J. Tirio is right once again. Ruskas beer, Ruskas. Ask the Russians on the vodka. They're the experts. Okay. He's got a bat phone to Vladimir Putin. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, it says 80 proof from corn, Tito's or Tito'sVodka.com. All right. And then all the mumbo jumbo. If you're pregnant, blah 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 blah. Don't drive a car, machinery, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Okay. So we learned something here that American vodka is made from corn, and European vodka is most likely potatoes, which happens to come from the Andes Mountains of South America. By the way, the potato was cultivated by the Incas, by Native Americans in South America. There is no Irish potato. That's why when they say the potato famine in Ireland, I laugh. It sounds like hilarious. Why, you couldn't eat anything else but potatoes? I mean,
well, they were so poor, and then the English had these corn laws. The corn laws prevented easy importation of other grains. So it was a lot of that had to do with the corn laws. But
and they suppressed the Irish from having any agricultural or even commercial fishing industry, I hear, or cattle ranching, livestock ranching. Thank you, Ronnie.
well, the problem was the British wanted to put their friends and family in control of all the plantations and farms in Ireland. Okay, now, but that's the old days. The British no longer control Ireland. Well, they control Northern Ireland. So,
England is only about the size of Connecticut.
yeah, same size as Louisiana. Yeah.
To have an empire like they did, Connecticut is amazing. It's amazing. Well, you got to give them credit for that. But anyway, Queen Elizabeth I did not particularly care for Bloody Mary, so to speak.
No, that was her half sister. Yeah. Now Platinum 7X vodka, and then we're going to go to Tito's. This beer.
Tito's, Fandango, those Tito's. Whoa. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, Platinum 7X vodka is made by a family-owned company. Also, it's the Sazerac company at Buffalo Trace Distillery. The company is owned by Mr. and Mrs. William Goldring of New Orleans, Louisiana, who personally own the company. There's no shareholder. There are no shareholders, no board of directors. This vodka was introduced in, I believe it was 1996. 1996. That's right. It's called 7X because it's distilled 7 times.
Wow, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and they claim that makes it better. Now it won awards at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. And here's the awards real fast. It won a bronze medal in 2013. It won a silver medal at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, obviously in the corn vodka category. Silver medal in 2007, 2008, 9, 10, 14, 15, and 16. It won a gold medal in 2011 and 2012. Not bad.
Wow. Now, commercial moonshine, like Midnight Moon, is that also made from corn?
Yes.
Now, I wonder what the difference is in acquiring the two different flavors going from commercialized moonshine to American vodka, and they're both made from corn. I wonder what the process is to make them both.
I don't think there's a whole bunch of difference. I don't really think there's much difference. It could have a lot to do with the filtering. I didn't see any awards for Tito's, sorry. But Tito's is one of the top selling vodkas in America.
But I will say this. Wheatley blows Tito's away.
Oh, yeah?
And they had a small bottle of that, but we already did a show where I brought the Wheatley. So, but I will give them that much credit. I was very impressed with Wheatley's American vodka. No, we're connoisseurs on fine fermented beverages. Our taste buds are just magnified, like many times over. The average jabroni, the average 9 to 5 humanoid, our taste buds are just out there, alive. We're not intoxicated.
Yeah. Thanks, Ruku, and have a good night. They're over there about midnight in England. So, all right, now, Wheatley. By the way, Wheatley is also made at the same distillery as the Platinum 7X, same company.
Ah, that's right. Sassafras. I mean Sazerac.
Right. And they produce a whole lot of vodkas.
Yes, and here's to the Royal Hibachi Buffet. They did not make any money off of me as usual.
Okay. They didn't make any money off.
The King of Vaseline. Look at that. He's got the crown of the Vaseline. Hey, I try to promote the shows, but there's a lot of the people on my food group. I don't know. It's a lot of namby-pambies out there, I call raisin balls, But I'm glad to see the comments of the enthusiasts.
Right. Now, cheers. Let's try it. I've never had Tito's, but I've had Platinum 7X once before, of course, when I did our solo review about earlier this week. Mine smells peppery. I smell black pepper, but I know it has no black pepper in it. I don't know why it smells that way. It must be from the charcoal. I bought some Crown Rust vodka one time from Sazerac, and it had a piece of charcoal floating in it, like a very tiny speck. But I said, look at this. It's so strange. Must have broken off.
It's safe because they sell activated carbon. They sell charcoal capsules in health food stores,
Oh, so it wouldn't make you ill or anything?
Yeah. Well, if you're a urologist, a board certified urologist, then that would be a very applicable name, even though they probably use these silicone-based lubricants.
What you get any? Okay, you get any kind of particular aroma, or it's just basic?
No, I get a sweet aroma of corn.
Yeah.
Because corn is high on the glycemic index chart. Now, to the lay people out there, it is high in natural sugars, corn, and so I get a sweet aroma, not like a liqueur, but you can just get a faint sweetness in the aroma, as opposed to the European vodkas. I've tried mostly Polish ones because in my hometown where I used to live, the next town over had a huge Polish community.
Oh, right. That's where I bought all that Polish beer that time.
And therefore, home liquors, where I used to do the walkthrough with the video thing, that they had a large amount of Polish vodkas and beers, and that's how I in some of the markets I got introduced to the various Polish beers and the porter. But drinking it, yeah. Well, she's just a copy of probably Cher, Marilyn Monroe. They all go for the shock effect.
Right.
Yeah, they're all created superstars, created in a big Hollywood boardroom.
I saw a photo yesterday of Madonna when she was 12 years old, and she was getting an autograph signed for her from Elvis Presley. It was Elvis Presley signing an autograph, and there she was.
Oh, wow.
Trying to reach out to touch him, and the securities say, stay back, stay back. I said, boy, she probably never thought, I'm gonna.
I kind of like Jim Morrison of the Doors upsetting Ed Sullivan, with the lyrics. Oh, you must not use certain lyrics on my show, really big show, and he didn't care and he went ahead with it. He said, "Oh, all we needed to do was show up one time on the Ed Sullivan show, and it's a done deal." But anyway, the other band members didn't want. They wanted to comply with Ed Sullivan because they wanted to get invited back. But
Right.
Jim Morrison was a rebel.
Yeah, Mr. Mojo Rising. Okay. I'll give a quick rundown of the flavors I'm getting. A lot of charcoal, a lot of distilled grain. So let's say grain alcohol. It's basic grain alcohol. It's not flavored with anything. You can get a lot of flavored vodkas. Now, this is the big popular thing today. The flavored vodkas. This very day, I saw peach flavored, strawberry flavored, coconut flavored, whipped cream flavored. That's what the people want. Give them what they want. Watermelon flavored rum I saw today from Admiral Nelson. So what we're drinking is really kind of the past. And if people buy this straight vodka, they're not doing what we're doing. They're going to make mixed drinks, which I have no interest in mixed drinks. But this one is okay. It's smooth as silk. It's smooth. It goes down so easy. It's clean. Some people might complain that it's too clean, but after 7 times distilled, it's so cleaned out.
Make a good Bloody Mary, I bet.
Yeah. I think this is what they use at the Superdome. It might be what they use at the Superdome in Louisiana. And a lot of people claim that the best Bloody Marys are at the Superdome. I don't know, but I know a lot of people that swear by those Louisiana Superdome Bloody Marys. But it's clean. It's enjoyable. It's got a little charcoal hit to it. I'm not a vodka person. If I never had vodka again the rest of my life, I wouldn't miss it. But it does exist. We know it's very popular, and I'm not going to sit here and say I hate it. I have reviewed in the past off air and on air because some stuff I had before I started my channel. I did Crown Rust vodka. I did Katz and Bestoff vodka before my channel. I did Taka on the channel, Taka 100. I did this that I'm doing now, and I think there's one other that I'm forgetting about, maybe 2 others. But I mean, I could take it or leave it. But hey, they got people that their whole channel's dedicated to vodka. There's a whole vodka culture, and I'm not downgrading it. It's just like a personal preference thing, I believe. It's like sports. Some people prefer basketball over football, and
I understand why vodka is very popular with mixed drinks because it is clear, and I understand why it's very popular with dieters because it supposedly has the lowest amount of carbohydrates of any other hard liquor. It's great ice cold out of the freezer, but my friends are vodka fanatics. My 2 buddies that I've known for many years. That's all I could say about it. As far as this goes, it's not. It doesn't live up to the bold claims on the label. It's very much like the commercialized moonshine, like Midnight Moon, without the flavoring. But Midnight Moon surpasses it in flavor. Wheatley blows it away. I still stand by that. Wheatley vodka, as a domestic vodka, blows it away.
And they're both about the same price. So if you had a choice, you'd pick Wheatley 100 times out of 100 times. You're saying?
Oh yeah, Wheatley. I was very impressed by Wheatley. Now, what was the comment before the last one? There was a lengthy one. As I was talking, I was looking at you straight ahead. I didn't catch it. It was the big one. Jim Morrison was real fucked in the head. A lot of things turned me off from liking the Doors. He was a tad bit too rebellious. His father was an admiral in the Navy, I believe. Jim Morrison's father. He didn't mention his He didn't mention his dad in the was it like was it an auto? No, it was a biography where they interviewed him, and he never really liked to bring up his dad because I guess he was
Yeah, it wasn't too hip to have two establishment parents, and he claimed his parents had died, but it wasn't true. His father was a rear admiral in the Navy, and not only that, his father was the admiral at the Gulf of Tonkin incident. He was the admiral.
Oh boy, that compounds it. Now, a rear admiral, do they just have authority over the stern sections of all the ships and not the bow?
Right, they can't.
Rear admiral.
Right, they're not allowed to go past the middle of the ship. All right. Absolutely forbidden to go to the front of the ship.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think a rear admiral's, and I could be terribly wrong, but I think it's similar to what they used to have back in the 1800s, the Commodore. They used to have a Commodore.
Commodore.
There's no more Commodore. Commodore is a rank that was discontinued.
It used to be only activated during wartime originally, I believe.
Or Commodore?
Commodore, yeah. And then when Lionel Richie formed that group, the Commodores, but
right, that's right.
But anyway, could we be self-appointed Commodores or no self-appointed intergalactic PhDs in fermented beverages? What did Ronnie say? Was that Ronnie before? So his dad was fucked in the head too. If he was a part, yeah, that was a lie. That was a big. Jesse Ventura is really livid about that. He talks about that a lot.
Yeah, but look at all the good things that came from the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Vietnam. I'm just joking. All right.
Those little Tonkin trucks that they used to sell in the toy store.
Yeah, Tonka. Yeah.
Tonka.
Yeah, Vietnam. What a mess. Okay, I remember that war because I was real little, and I remember seeing it on TV, and I was not saying, "Oh, this is bad," or "Oh, this is good." I was just looking at it. It would just be on, like you would look at anything on television. I just remember it happening, and I remember having no particular impression.
Well, it did prove one thing, Ronald J. It proved that guerrilla warfare historically defeats a organized, well-trained, formal military.
If the guerrillas are on the border with a friendly country, like Red China, for instance,
they got help. Yeah, they got help.
Which was the case in Korea and Vietnam. Now, if the guerrillas are isolated on an island, then it's a much different situation. The British Army defeated the guerrillas in Malaya, but the situation there was the Malayan guerrillas didn't have a common border with communist China, so they couldn't really get. All the British had to do was surround the country with ships,
right?
Blockade it, and plus they used some other strategies which defeated the rebels in Malaya, and then Malaysia is now a non-communist quasi-free country in the Asian sense of the word.
Whereas the Viet Cong utilized the jungle as their fortress and tunnels. They used to pop up at a tunnel.
Yeah, but they had a direct connection to China, Red China, so they could receive continuous supplies. Plus, there were hundreds of thousands of Chinese volunteers working in Vietnam and probably fighting because the Americans couldn't tell the Chinese rebel from a Vietnamese rebel, you know what I mean? So that's an important thing that a lot of people don't consider. Now, Ronnie says Vaseline can solve anything, just like Vicks.
Well, I do have a banner on all the merits of Vicks. I mean, he's right about that.
If I get like a sore on my eye or something, I can put Vaseline on it. or ictamol, which is like based on what is ictamol, like kerosene? No, not kerosene. Um, creosote, right? Isn't it like creosote, like what they use in blacktop on the highway, blacktop, that tar?
And railroad ties too.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to a pier on the East Coast, you go to the boardwalk and you smell the wood on the Jersey Shore boardwalk, you can smell creosote.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, when are they coming here? I don't know. I know one thing: the Scandinavians are living pretty damn good. So you don't see any Scandinavians coming here, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, the Vietnam War, that was a total fiasco. But same argument they make for all the wars. Better to fight them over there before they come over here. But there's only one little problem: they ain't coming over here. All right. But that's the empire, that everybody adores. Now, I'm enjoying this vodka. I mean, the bottle's gone. I mean, it doesn't take much to drink 100. This is a little tiny bottle. John and Neely says, great discussion as always, guys. Thank
you.
Thanks, Gandhi. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Not only is it Friday the 13th, there's a full moon tonight. At least here in the Northeast. I don't know if you get the same.
Yeah, we do. We get the same moon, actually.
Well, I know you get the same moon, but I mean, if it's full here, it's full in Louisiana, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Except ours has like a blue X on it with a red background and stars on it.
What about an image of a crawdad? Does that ever appear?
No, our moon just has like this flag on it, like this. Look.
Oh, cool. And you got like that, and you have. I saw some documentaries that there is a Sasquatch in the deep south. There's definitely Sasquatches down there.
Yeah, Rougarous.
Oh yeah, and there's something called in the Appalachians a silver stripe, a silverback. There's a Sasquatch that's light colored, like blonde, and there's a brown colored one, and there's a black one. There's and they make different sounds. The Appalachian.
They got swamp apes in Florida.
Yeah, swamp apes that have a terrible aroma.
They got Rougarous in Louisiana. I heard one night in 1974 outside my window, and actually, I think it was a panther, which technically don't live in Louisiana, but whatever I heard was no kind of cat you'll ever hear. This thing sounded like some kind of thing from Wild Kingdom. I thought Marlon Perkins was going to be outside my house, and boy, it terrified me. But I never heard it again. I only heard it once that one night.
As long as he doesn't pitch Mutual of Omaha. But anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of mysterious creatures that where they get the hair samples and of course the footprint. They take molds of the footprints and all kinds of sightings, but they don't find them because maybe they are extraterrestrial that escape into another dimension or a parallel universe. Or there's a lot out there. That's a mystery. Even our oceans are a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, more so than space. The coelacanth, the prehistoric fish, they were discovered live in the Indian Ocean. So there's a lot of things out there. Violence isn't always evil. Evil is mankind is inherently sinful and evil from day one. That's all I have to say. Yeah,
because of original sin. Now, let's see.
And it's not alcoholic beverages, you counties out yonder.
No, it isn't. But I live in the Latin American part of Louisiana, so we have very liberal alcohol laws. Now, if you go to the Anglo-American part of Louisiana, they have more of the strict alcohol laws.
They're teetotalers, right? Is that the term they usually use?
Well, they claim to be, at least on paper.
Yeah, like when Jimmy Swagger used to cry and say, "Lust is sin, lust I've committed," and then he continued to pick up prostitutes on the highway. All right, so, yeah.
His first cousin was
Jimmy Swaggart.
Yeah, his first cousin is Jerry Lee Lewis, by the way.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, and their other cousin is Mickey Gilley.
Peter Popoff is funny as hell.
Mickey Gilley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Jimmy Swaggart, 3 first cousins, all wild, especially Jerry Lee Lewis.
Is he the one that sang Chantilly Lace?
Yeah, you remember him.
Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh, you know what I like. Chantilly lace in the ponytail. Florida alcohol laws. No, they're not.
Well, they have some strict things, like you can't buy a 40-ounce bottle because they say it's too much alcohol in a bottle. So what people do is they buy 2 32 ounces, which is 64. And then they don't allow 6-packs in Florida. You can't buy a 6-pack of pint cans. You can only buy a 4-pack. Well, then you could buy 2 4-packs and you got an 8-pack. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, northern Florida is a lot more conservative than South Florida.
Yes.
Northern Florida would be considered deep South culture. The Panhandle, right? Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and the whole Panhandle. Yeah. And then South Florida would be the influx of people from
New York.
Well, not only New York. You have the Cuban influence, and you have people that snowbirds that go there to have.
Once you get down to that area, it's more the Judeo-Hispanic population, and then northern Florida down to the central is the Anglo-American population, which politically would be more in line with my thinking. But anyway,
I have a feeling.
But not with the alcohol laws.
The alcohol laws. The reality shows where the Appalachian people are looking for different varieties of Bigfoot. They all have the long hair, very long beard, like ZZ Top. They all, they're dressed, like a they look stereotypical, but they're always like, Yahoo! I don't know if the producer makes them all do that. Like,
yeah, it's all staged.
Every time they talk, they're all throwing their hats up and go, "We're gonna get that damn there. We're gonna get that Bigfoot if it's the last thing we do." Woo! Yahoo!
Yeah, it's all staged. But
people don't really do that constantly down there.
I have. Yes, Cole Carey, Eddie Money died today. Now, I live in Latin America, but where I live used to be called the German coast. So there's a lot of Germanic people along this part of the Mississippi River.
What happened to the French?
Well, what happened was the Germans integrated with the French. In other words, they assimilated.
So they took their knockwurst and they planted it, and they assimilated.
Yeah. So over here where I live, there's a lot of sausage making, and you got the andouille and all that. But
okay.
You have a lot of people that are German in their background. Heidel, which they call Heidel. The French just changed the name. All the French did was take the German people and change their name to French translation. Like most of these German people came from Alsace-Lorraine.
Now the andouille sausage is very similar to the Spanish chorizo. I'm not saying Latin American, I mean Spaniard, because the chorizo is from Spain originally.
Yeah. Ronnie says.
What happened to the French? Yeah, because I'm thinking of
what happened was the Germans moved over here to the German coast. And they had names like Schexneider, which the French changed to Schexneider. They had Wagensbach, which the French changed to Wagasback. They had Rommel, which the French changed to Rome.
Now, Jean Lafitte, he was the like a French pirate, right?
Yeah,
Jean,
a Jewish pirate, in fact.
Jewish. Was he a podiatrist? Jean Lafitte originally. I mean, did he have smelly feet?
I don't know.
You know, speaking of the French, in South Park, there's a funny song called "The French Canada is the Best Canada." And it's a hilarious song.
Oh yeah,
Talks about it makes the South Park mocks the Canadians in general, but they were really mocking Quebec and Montreal.
Quebec City. I've been to Quebec City, the only walled city in North America. But anyway, getting back to the Germans, a few more things about that. Rommel became Rome. There was a German family named Zweig. Zweig. Zweig.
Yeah.
It meant twig. Okay, you hear me?
Vegan means large breasts.
No, Zweig. Zweig meant twig, but the French changed their name to La Branche.
Twig. That sounds more like the Japanese men to me.
The Zweig family became La Branche.
La Branch. Was he a branch manager of that organization?
No, because it was the German word that meant twig.
Twig.
So the French changed their name to La Branche.
Talking about Japanese men again? Twig.
So a lot of these people running around Louisiana say, "Hey, I'm French. My name is La Branche." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, your real name is Twig. Twig.
La Twig. La Branche. Yeah, La Branche is the...
But they brought a lot of their German culture here. And but anyway, this Latin American part of Louisiana, they speak a different dialect. And if you cross about 29 miles north of here, 29 miles, their dialect is totally different. It's Anglo-America, and it's a whole different world. Like, so here is more, our culture is more similar to Haiti and Puerto Rico and those areas. And then if you go 29 miles, their language and outlook is more similar to Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia.
Now, the term Creole, is that a combination of Africa, French cuisine, and is that like a blend of various cultures?
Creole is a Spanish word. The word is criollo, and it means, and the French word is Creole, and it means a white person born in America.
Oh. Wow.
So you had two types of white people in America. I'm talking about in the colonial days.
You had crackers, and
you had emigres.
Boss hog. I'm only kidding.
No, you had emigres. Emigres were the whites who came from Europe. Emigres, and then you had people like Virginia Dare, who was the first English child born in America. Virginia Dare.
That's right. The oldest colony is in Virginia, the oldest American colony, right?
Right. Well, not really, because Virginia was 1607, but St. Augustine, Florida, was founded by the Spanish in the 1500s.
That's true. Ponce de Leon.
But the English didn't consider Spanish legitimate people, so they say, well, but actually Virginia Dare was the first English child born in America. But St. Augustine, what was it, 1587, was established in La Florida.
That's near Daytona Beach, I believe, and Flagler, where one of my relatives used to live in Flagler Beach, Florida.
Flagler was the guy that built railroads across Florida, and there's an old highway you can still ride on. I went riding down there. It was very interesting. It's called Flagler Highway. It used to go from the top of Florida to Key West. But
oh, cool. That's right. I saw that documentary. That was fascinating. And then there's the infamous coral compounds in South Florida.
Yeah. I saw Coral City. Ronnie S says Haiti never had a chance to prosper. A lot of outside forces held it back. Well, yeah, a lot of outside and inside forces too.
Well, even Puerto Rico got screwed over as a commonwealth. You know, I mean, they can't really export anything, even if they.
No, well, the United States attacked Spain and stole Puerto Rico in 1898. But
yeah, Teddy Roosevelt led the charge when he was in the military.
Yeah, the Rough Riders. Now in Louisiana, you have a lot of black people who call themselves Creoles. But that goes back to racism and whatnot, because what you had was a hierarchy of skin color in Louisiana, and the very light-skinned black people, were tried to identify with Europeans, so they called themselves Creoles, and they were very prejudiced against the darker skinned black people, like you see in Brazil today. And so they had the paper bag rule, which you probably heard of the paper bag rule.
Paper bag rule is
May still exist, which
when
may still unofficially exist.
when you meet a girl on that you when you meet a woman that you
No, when they would have
hook
dance,
up with,
no, when they would have dances and get-togethers in New Orleans. This was even in it may still happen today, actually, unofficially. But when they would have a dance at a club on Claiborne Avenue or something, they would hang a paper bag. You know the old paper bags from the shopping center, from the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know the color of a paper bag.
yeah, brown.
And they would tack it up to the entrance, and they would say, anybody darker than this paper bag cannot come in.
So if you were a medium brown, which is what a paper bag is, I suppose, medium brown, you were fine. If you were darker than a medium brown, you cannot enter.
No.
You expedite the premise.
Yeah, and that was an example of intra-racial segregation and discrimination, and that is very well known in Louisiana. And they even made a television show about it on public television, and it's still very common today. When I taught high school, I would observe that, and I tried to discourage it to an extent. But
Well,
the people here are very obsessed with racial considerations.
there's too much political correctness, and I mean, I'm a progressive, but I'm not a pandering hipster, peace, love, and all that crap. I'm not one of those. There's too much. Like, in other words, Jimmy the Greek Snyder was fired.
Yeah.
For telling the truth, but he just didn't do it in a scientific way. He did it in a layman's,
Yeah, right. He was very ill-treated.
Yeah, he told the truth. They did do. He didn't use the word selective breeding like they do with champion bloodline dogs and racehorses, but that's what they did. They did selective breeding of the slaves. That doesn't make it wonderful. It doesn't make it pleasant, but that's
he didn't even endorse it. He just was commenting upon it.
Yeah, he commented about it, and people have been doing that with every domesticated livestock there is. They do so.
He was baited by these low-life reporters. They knew he had been drinking probably vodka like us, and they targeted him. They never liked Jimmy the Greek, and they targeted him, and he was fired. And it was a travesty. I really kind of stopped watching the NFL today after that. I felt so.
Yeah, I understand with, what was it, WABC's Howard Cosell, when he said, look at that monkey run, on the football field. But I mean, Jimmy the Greek was just stating a true fact.
Well, Howard Cosell didn't mean anything by that. He was just saying the guy was very athletic, like a monkey running through the trees. He was very articulate in his movement. But you see these people that have an axe to grind and a chip on their shoulder, they're looking for trouble. So when you have people that are looking for an incident or looking for an occasion.
Well, Howard Cosell was a huge fan of Muhammad Ali, and he actually followed his career through.
He was betrayed because he was like the king of the liberals, and they stabbed him in the back, and he realized,
But I mean, it's genetics. Getting back to selective breeding, it was done for centuries. It was done with every purebred dog, cat, livestock, whatever. Selective. It's even done with friggin' koi, goldfish, Siamese, betas, or whatever, chickens. Selective breeding, and they did it because, like, remember Mutiny on the Bounty when the King of England at the time sent Captain Bligh with Mr. Christian to the island of Tahiti to transport live breadfruit plants to Jamaica, from Tahiti to Jamaica, and they used the word as fodder, Fodder, for the slaves. And fodder is food for livestock. So this was the terminology they used, and of course, those that know the movie know the details, without going into the details of the Polynesian chief offering their women like coffee and cake to any visitors. Anyway, but yeah, this was and they went around the Horn because Captain Bligh didn't want to waste a lot of time going into the Indian Ocean from Africa, from the Cape of Africa, from South Africa to the Indian Ocean. He didn't want to go the long way. He wanted to take the shortcut, and they warned him the going around the Horn means a death sentence practically to those ships. And, but that was the term they used. The point is they used the word fodder for slaves, breadfruit. So if they were looked upon as livestock, they did selective breeding.
Yeah, and then they went berserk and revolted against Captain Bligh because they went crazy over these Polynesian women when they went to those islands, and that's the main reason they revolted against him. It wasn't because he was a cruel British commander. It's because he said, we don't have time to stop so you could go running around with all these women. We have to
be fraternized. He told Mr. Christian, you can't bring, well, he used the term, you can't bring that savage back to England with you. What would your family and friends say? He says, but to appease the chief so we can get the live breadfruit plants, to appease the chief, make love to that Polynesian woman, do it for the queen or do it for the King of England or whatever. I remember how it went. Captain Bligh was really very, very normal and calm. And then when they became infatuated or whatever with the Polynesian women, and then the whole mutiny thing, that's when it all.
Yeah, and then they went to Pitcairn Island and they all murdered each other. And by the way, before we close this out,
yes.
By the way, a Fandango fact: Pitcairn Island is the only British colony left in the Pacific Ocean. Although there are some realms of Queen Elizabeth still out there today, many realms of Queen Elizabeth, but that's a different thing. But Pitcairn Island is an actual British overseas territory, and it only has a few people living there today. About, I think the last time I checked, this had 67 people living there. It's one of the most isolated places on Earth, and there's a British ship that visits the island about every 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And all the people are dying out. No one wants to live there.
You know what the most infamous island is? But I think it sank. Skull Island, which had prehistoric creatures and giant gorillas, which inspired King Kong movies. Skull Island. And there were archaeologists from England that swear to what they saw there on Skull Island. But I'm going to give it a quick score. As vodkas go across the board, I'll give it an 85 out of 100. I'm not doing handstands over Tito's like Wheatley vodka.
So it's a B, but a lot of things are a B.
Yeah, it's like it's not the worst, but it's definitely not.
Oh, well, if it was the worst, it wouldn't be a B. I don't know what that means, Beer Hound. I don't know those adjectives. I don't know all those words. Now, you gave the Wheatley a really high 90-something score.
Yeah, like upper 90s or something. Wheatley was outstanding.
Look how much I'm gonna drink, y'all. Look how much water I'm gonna drink.
That's water.
It's tap water, folks. All right.
Ooh, you must have sulfuric tap water down here.
No. To me, the tap water is good now, but other people say it'll make you die, but I don't believe it.
Well, that's Florida. That's South Florida. It's got that rotten egg sulfuric tap water. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? Hopefully, we'll get some of you guys on here on by way of video. Greetings from cold Germany. After the hot summer we had here, I welcome autumn and the frost on the pumpkin, which is the time for Dickie Duncan.
Now, my score for the gone but not forgotten Platinum 7X, because I drank it all. Drink it all just like I'm drinking this water.
Lundjäger, salami, man from Germany. I love it. I think I'm pronouncing. Lundjäger, and T-Wurst. T-Wurst, Bloodwurst, Pinkelwurst, but Lundjäger, that means ground up. I don't know what it means, but it's very good salami. T-Wurst, I believe, is a cured raw meat spread that you can put on crackers or whatever. Anyway, what's his name? Ronald. He's excited because he's going to show me some kind of food. He's going to show me something good.
Before I get off the Fandango Friday vodka, I've been experimenting and enjoying these items. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
This pickled smoked sausages.
I'm trying to get the glare off of it. Yeah, the pickled smoked sausage from Amite, Louisiana. Oh, these things, you can cut them with a spoon. You can cut it with a spoon. And I've been putting it in, like yesterday, folks. Yesterday, folks, I had some great northern beans.
Oh, the big white, they're like white kidney beans almost.
Yeah, I had great northern beans fried on extra virgin olive oil with diced yellow onions. Then I took one of these smoked sausages, pickled smoked sausages, and I sliced it up on a low flame. I got it good and hot, and then I flipped the sausage to the other side. And then I had slices of what you call that, Jack, something Jack, you know, that with the 2 cheeses. It's I was about to say amberjack. That's a fish. And then I put that cheese in there and put it all together. Boy, that was a jewel. That was a jewel. Pepper jack. Had the pepper jack cheese, and I ate it with a spoon. And then I sopped it up with bread and real butter. Real butter. I don't play around with margarine. And this morning, on crackers for my morning snack while I was working, doing good, hearty manual labor, I had I had smoked kippers, kippered herring.
I love the kippers, kippered herring. Oh, smoked kippers. I used to get them from the maritime. It used to be imported from like New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, the maritime provinces of Canada. Kippered herring.
Yeah, this was good, but unfortunately it was from China, so it was probably radioactive.
Actually, it was called Scotch kippers, but it was from the maritime provinces, and it was smoked herring. Well, one of the Chinese waiters, it's not Chinese owned, but one of the waiters gave me a mooncake, which is traditional of autumn, the autumn harvest festival in China. It is. This happens to be a large deluxe mooncake. This is a red bean mooncake that he gave me, and it's just a traditional food that is baked as a dessert to celebrate the autumn harvest festival in China. So I will be eating that this weekend. It comes in various types like lotus seed, melon, black bean. This is red bean, and duck egg yolk. Also,
wow! If I ever drive to New Jersey, I'll bring you a jar of pickled smoked sausage. Assuming you'd want any. I don't know if you'd want any.
I'll take that. Do they ever pickled hog head cheese or no?
Oh, I was about to say, unless you would prefer some Bailey's or
Let me ask you a question. Do they have?
Plain Jacob smoked some hogshead cheese.
Oh, speaking of being that it would be a distance. Is there any popular salamis of
Yeah, that's the problem. If I had
the New Orleans
I'd
there?
have to keep it chilled. I don't know if it would make it to New Jersey.
Oh, that's right. You have to keep it chilled. You're
Yeah,
right.
we have Bailey's, and we have Jacobs, and we have a lot of different hogshead cheese, but it won't keep. Now the andouille would probably keep because it's smoked sausage and it's dried, and
That might not go rancid.
do we have? What were you saying? Do we have?
Well, I know pickled items is not a problem with traveling.
Yeah, we have boudin. Boudin. I don't know if you know what boudin is.
Boudin? No, I'm not familiar.
Boudin is a sausage, and it's a rice sausage. It's a pork sausage made with rice. It's filled with rice, and you get that in the prairies of Louisiana. Out in the western part of Louisiana, on the prairies, they sell boudin, which is rice sausage. So when you cut the sausage open, all the rice falls out with the pork.
I've had a blood sausage made by an Ecuadorian butcher with rice inside. It was a type of morcilla, which is originally a Spanish blood sausage, but this one happened to have rice inside, whereas the Irish black pudding has barley. It has barley inside with the pig's blood and the ground pork shoulder.
Yeah, there's two types of boudin in Louisiana. There's white boudin, which is just the regular pork sausage with the rice, which I like. And they make boudin balls, which is like in a shape of a ball, and they deep fry it.
Oh wow.
Boudin balls. We got some of those. But the one I won't eat is the black boudin. I don't want the black boudin.
Oh, just like when I brought the blood hog head cheese on one of the shows, made from the regular head cheese parts plus blood.
No, I don't want that. But
Wagyu.
we have a lot of sausage around here, and just like New Jersey, I'm sure New Jersey has a lot of sausage. But yeah, well, folks, this is Fandango Friday. It's vodka, but we talk about sausage a lot. And
listen, people, especially from the food group, don't be shy. I mean, I promoted it.
James put a promo poster. He did a promo poster of this, and alcohol legs.
Yeah, made a couple banners, and
Ollie's
Landjäger. That's how you spell it. Landjäger. Now schnitzel is like a cutlet, sir. Right? Correct? You a boneless, tenderized cutlet of veal or chicken, I think, and then you bread it, you dip it in egg. I like spätzle. I like spätzle a lot as a side dish. I like the red cabbage, and I know how to make good sauerbraten. I've made one time. I even made venison sauerbraten from a venison pot roast. Came out excellent.
Now the two festivals in Louisiana that I like to go to is the ones at Deutsches House. They have the black bread, the Jewish bread. They have the Knockwurst, the Bratwurst, and the Wiener Schnitzel, and all that, and all the German beers. And then another one I like to go to is the Greek festival at the Greek Orthodox Church.
The spinach pie and the moussaka. And
yeah, the Greek Orthodox Cathedral. I listen to all the women speak Greek, and then I watch the Hellenic dancers, the teenagers. They do the Greek dancing.
Yeah, the Torba degree.
And people are very proud of Greece, and they're very volatile. So if you were to go to the Greek festival and insult Greece, I would be very sorry.
No.
For you.
Hey, listen, I love feta cheese, so I'm not going to have any problem with the Greek culture and the food. And I mean, I love feta cheese.
Yeah, what I got was, I can't think of the name of it, but it was like a long wooden stick, and it had strips of lamb stuck on it.
Oh, it's like a souvlaki. It's a
Yeah,
it's a kebab.
yeah, that's what it was. And they had the cream, the sour cream, and the onions. But the only bad thing was that like in every major city, the New Orleans Police Department preys on the tourists. So when I went and I parked, I got back to my truck and I had a $40 parking ticket because they said I technically parked too close to the stop sign.
Wait a minute, preying on tourists. Isn't tourists like the life's blood of certain parts of the country?
They do it every time.
I
I
mean,
got a $40 ticket. I got a $40 ticket because I technically parked too close to the stop sign. I could have parked at that stop sign 360 days a year with no problem. But since it was the Greek festival, they were out there with waiting to nab me. And it was
well, guess what? Over here, they paint the curb yellow to tell you that you cannot go beyond the yellow because you're too close. They do it for fire. Well, no, I shouldn't say. They do it for street corners, actually.
this was simply in a neighborhood. This was simply in a neighborhood. There was no markings on the street. It was just grass, people's grass next to the road. They went around with a tape measure to get people on any sort of technical violation they could find.
Yeah, because they have a quota. The mayor or the chief of police or somebody, Commissioner Gordon, whatever, called them into the office and said, listen, we need more revenue for the city. I want you got a quota. You got to write so many tickets. They do that over here to the cops, you know, and then they
It
go.
doesn't matter what festival it is, they go out there and prey on all the festival attendees. And then they'll turn around and complain and say, we need more attendance. Well, okay, so close it out, and then I'll close it out.
Close it out. Oh, you'll close it. I'll close it out. You close it out.
You and then me. Yeah.
You have just stepped off our fermented beverage pirate.
Your hands are rough. They don't look like cops' hands anymore. And that shaving lotion is something a child would select. It has a ship on the bottle, doesn't it? Don't think you can persuade me with appeals to my intellectual vanity.
I don't think I'll persuade you at all. You'll need to do it here. Besides, we have Dr. Bloom working on it. He's the best.
The other file with you?
Yes.
Pictures?
Okay, well, that's it, folks. We're out of here.
We're out of here. Join us next time.